Hello, families. I'm going to show you how you can work with your child at home on teaching letter sounds. Now, the most important thing that you can be working on with your child, two things. Reading to them one book at least, or several books is great every day, and playing the language games that build those uh, phonemic awareness and phonological awareness skills. That's the rhyming, the beginning sounds, all those different sound games. And you can look on the blog, montessorisprouts.com, if you want more ideas for those. And once your child has a good awareness of beginning sounds, then that is when we start introducing them to connecting the letter symbol with the letter sound. And in the classroom, we use these sandpaper letters, which you don't have at home, and that is fine. So I'm going to show you two things that you can use instead. So what I did is I just cut a piece of scrap paper into 4 pieces and wrote on it with crayon. We introduced cursive first in our classroom. I will do a separate explanation of why we choose to do cursive first instead of print. And we also have the letters grouped in sets, usually of 4, and we do a color coding system because it connects with some of the other language materials. You can introduce the letters in any order. Usually kids are really excited to learn their sound, whatever sound their name starts with, and the sounds of their friends or family first. So any order is fine, but I'm going to be showing them in the sets that we do in the classroom. Now we can introduce 2 to 4 letters at a time. Some kids need to see the letters just a couple times, 5 or 6 exposures might be enough for some kids. Others will need 30, 40, 50, and will still, have trouble remembering connecting that symbol with the letter sound. But the more you're doing the language games, the easier it will be for them to make that connection. And then the other thing I have here is just a pie plate with cornmeal in it. So what we can do, there are 3 steps that we use for teaching any language, whether it's teaching letter sounds, number names, colors, any vocabulary. So first we need to introduce it. So we can just do it here. We usually use 2 fingers. And again. Now, if I were to do this over again, I would have made these letters a little bit bigger so that the child could also trace on here. So that's introducing it, and then we'll have them repeat it back after you. Lots of repetition. The more we can get them to say the sound and not just hear it, then that's going to speed up it going into their long-term memory. So the first step is introducing that this, the sound this makes is this is t, s, ah. And I'm just telling you, don't do them all that fast for the child when you're first introducing them. And then the second period is having them practice with being able to remember that sound. So I'll say, can you point to Can you point to t? Can you point to ah? And always having them trace it and say it back to you. And then we can incorporate all kinds of different games at this level. Go take ah and put it on the chair. Put next to the stairs. And just incorporating movement and having them practice the sound and then having them go and get it and bring it back will help to solidify their memory. Once you've done a lot of practice, and I'll show you some other games in a separate video that you can do to help reinforce it at this stage, then the next step is for them to show that they have really mastered the sound, is can they tell you what it is on their own. So I'll say, what is this? And if they can say t, then that tells us that they have mastered it. And so that is considered the third period. And one of our favorite ways to practice the third period is to play knock knock. So we have them turned upside down and we'll say, knock knock, who's there? Who is it? T, t. Let's trace it. T, t, t. And another way that I can get them to practice, if we're still at the second level of, show me the sound, and especially for kids who are needing more reinforcement, I'll say, all right, we're going to practice trace All right, now close your eyes. I'm going to hide it. And they close their eyes, and I just switch 2 letters, and then say, okay, open your eyes. Can you find it? And then, this is just having them practice identifying that letter among these other ones. So that's a game that can get them a bunch more repetitions that the kids often enjoy. And then another way is, while they are tracing it, and you can also leave it, you make it and have them trace it for you. Say, okay, you trace it there, and I'm going to trace it on your back. Just anything you can do to mix it up and keep it interesting so that they're willing to do that extra repetition that they need. All right, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have fun with this.